Hello and a warm welcome to World This Week by Latest Laws. This is a weekly program, so hit the bell icon to get notifications for new videos. My name is Vasvi Bhatia and let's begin with Supreme Court this week.
2 sitting and 13 retired information commissioners have approached Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana by writing a letter against high courts which routinely invoke their writ jurisdiction to stay orders passed by information commissioners under the Right to Information Act. Concerned over the problems created by the non-availability of parking at public places, the Supreme Court has directed the Gujarat government to frame a parking policy that will be followed by all municipal corporations. It took 2 decades for a marriage which couldn't take off and was never consummated by spouses, starting litigations just a fortnight after marrying, to be legally dissolved with the apex court allowing the divorce plea of a husband, holding that multiple litigations initiated by wife against him amounts to cruelty. The Supreme Court dismissed a plea seeking a direction that compensation of Rs. 50 lakh each should be granted to the family members of advocates below 60 years of age who died due to COVID-19 or any other manner. The Apex Court bench, comprising Justice M.R. Shah and Justice Anuradha Bose, in case titled Veladurai v. State, represented by the Inspector of Police, give their opinion on whether mere quarrel on the day of the occurrence attracts offence of abetment of suicide under Section 306 of IPC. The Aam Aadmi Party has told the Supreme Court that the Amendment Act introduced by Centre to give overriding powers to the Centre's nominee, Lieutenant Governor over Delhi legislation and executive is unconstitutional, as it has effectively disenfranchised the people of Delhi by taking away power from the elected representatives. The Supreme Court rejected the appeal filed by ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel, seeking transfer of proceedings over a dispute for cargo handling at Hazira Port with SR Bulk Terminal to an arbitration tribunal and also restraining to a commercial court from deciding the case. Next we have the Delhi High Court. A bench of Delhi High Court, while rejecting a bail petition, held that where the accused is a man of means and is charged under Section 376 of IPC, read with Section 6 of the POSCO Act, where the punishment will be sentenced to an imprisonment which will not be less than 20 years, but which may extend up to imprisonment for life, the petitioner influencing the witnesses cannot be ruled out. The court also observed that there are chances that the accused, looking at the severity of punishments, will try to abscond or jump the bail. The Delhi High Court Justice Rekha Palli has issued a notice in the case titled Saurav Suman through his mother v. GNCTD and another wherein a minor aged 17 years through his mother seeks permission from the Delhi government and Institute of Liver and Biliary Sciences to donate part of his liver to his ailing father. The Delhi High Court sought CBI's reply on a plea by its official Abhishek Tiwari seeking bail in connection with alleged leak of the probe agency's preliminary inquiry report in a corruption case against former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh. Next we have the Allahabad High Court. The Justice Chandradhari Singh of Allahabad High Court has granted anticipatory bail to a man who performed nikah with a woman through a Facebook call and then disowned the woman. The Allahabad High Court, recently comprising of a bench of Justice Ramesh Sinha and Justice Saroj Yadav, observing that the arguments advanced by the counsel for the applicants have some substance, stayed the arrest of a journalist, Sharat Kumar Dwivedi, booked on the charge of extortion and forgery on a complaint made by the Vice President of Bharatiya Janata Party in District Hardoi. Next we have Madhya Pradesh High Court. The Madhya Pradesh High Court, recently comprising of a bench of Justice Sanjay Dwivedi, observing that set aside an order of dismissal passed against a constable who had been accused of committing rape against a fellow policewoman, noting that the reason for dispensing with the regular departmental inquiry against him was not satisfactory. Next we have the Bombay High Court. The Bombay High Court bench, comprising Justice N.J. Jamadar and Justice S.S. Shinde, give their views on issue that can the prisoner be deprived of the right to life in the case Nirmala Kumari Upaganti vs. State of Maharashtra, dated 9 September 2021. Next we have the Kerala High Court. Keeping in abeyance a stay order by an appellant court in Kottayam district on September 10th, the High Court of Kerala said that the said order by additional district court stands flawed, which banished people from a church for marrying someone out of their choice and even outside the community. Kerala High Court sought the response of the central government within 2 weeks on a plea seeking compensation by the mother of a fisherman who was aboard a fishing vessel and was allegedly killed in firing by 2 Italian Marines in 2012. The Kerala High Court, recently comprising of a bench of Justice Raja Vijay Raghavan, directed the state and concerned authorities to take steps to ensure that economically weak students are not sidelined by the digital divide and that they are also able to pursue education like other children who have access to such gadgets. The Kerala High Court, recently comprising of a bench of Justice P.V. Konhi-Krishan, reiterated that the criminal antecedents of a donor are not criteria to be considered by the Authorization Committee for Transplantation of Human Organs. Next we have the Calcutta High Court. The Calcutta High Court, recently comprising of a bench of Justice Abhijit Gangopadhyay, while dealing with the case of an appointment of a teacher based on the notifications, observed that based on one selection process initiated, one cannot claim for a post without participating in the selection process. Next we have the Guwahati High Court. In a significant verdict, the Guwahati High Court has ordered that no private school can debar any student from attending online as well as offline classes due to non-payment of fees in view of the present COVID-19 pandemic situation. Next we have the Madras High Court. Bumper-to-bumper insurance cover for new vehicles will not be mandatory as suggested by the Madras High Court in its order last month. Instead, the decision to make it mandatory or not will be left to the legislatures and the parliament. In 2018, the central government issued a notification that said the speed limits on highways should be increased from 100 km per hour to 120 km per hour. Now, the Madras High Court has withdrawn that notification and has said that the speed limits on the expressways should decrease from 100 to 80 km per hour. Next, we have miscellaneous news. Union Law Minister Kiran Rijiju said that the central government is set to introduce a new bill on mediation in the upcoming session of the Parliament. Preparations of the same have been completed. As President Ramnath Kovind laid the foundation stone of UP National Law University and Advocates Chamber at Allahabad High Court in Prayagraj, CJI N.V. Ramana said today, "I was overwhelmed to be in the city of Kumbh, a city to know for its knowledge, a city in which Mahatma Gandhi declared the peaceful war ever known against the Britishers." A Delhi High Court remanded Rajiv Saxena to Enforcement Directorate custody till September 20th. He was arrested by ED in the money laundering case related to an alleged bank fraud case. Rajiv Saxena is also an accused in the Augusta Westland money laundering case. Attorney General K.K. Venugopal agreed to initiate criminal contempt proceedings against YouTuber Ajit Bharti for his alleged scurrilous remarks in one of his videos against the Supreme Court and its judges. The Delhi and District Cricket Association appointed Justice Indu Malhotra, former judge of the Supreme Court of India, as the Ombudsman cum Ethics Officer. The decision was taken as the annual general meeting. Finally, we have the international news. The will of Prince Philip, the late husband of Britain's Queen Elizabeth, will be sealed and remain private for at least 90 years to preserve the monarch's dignity, a judge at London's High Court has ruled. South Africa's top court has ruled that the former president Jacob Zuma has failed in his bid to have his 15-month sea sentence for failing to attempt a corruption inquiry overturned. An Indonesian court ruled that President Joko Widodo and 6 others top officials have neglected to fulfill citizens' rights to clean air and ordered them to improve the poor air quality in the capital. A Beijing court has thrown out a landmark sexual harassment case brought against one of the country's most famous TV hosts. It ruled that there was insufficient evidence to support the case against Zhu Jun. The case helped ignite China's Me Too movement and has led to increased awareness of women's rights.
This is a weekly program. For more updates, follow and subscribe to our channel, and for more information, check the description box.